to another segment of E-News. Today's broadcast is going to cover the most exciting stories across the globe.
Our first story investigates the indulgence scandal of the Catholic Church, featuring a live interview with Martin Luther.
Today in sports, Michelangelo finished the Sistine Chapel, humanism ideals spreading through Europe, and more.
With updated coverage for the impending storm coming into Europe, be prepared to stay in and take cover, because this storm is going to be dangerous. Now back to Luke.
Welcome back to another segment of European News. I'm Lord Luke, and tonight we will be investigating the indulgence scandal of the Catholic Church. A series of pamphlets have been published by Martin Luther, first printed in Latin and then translated into German in 1518. These pamphlets sparked controversy as Luther was ordered to go to Rome, but instead will formally debate at Leipzig with Johann Eck, a well-known representative of the Catholic Church. The indulgence controversy began in 2 years prior in 1517, when Luther wrote a letter to Archbishop Albert regarding the sales of indulgences in his letter entitled 95 Theses on the Power of Indulgences. Luther argued that indulgences undermine the seriousness of sacrament of penance, conflict with preachings of the gospel, and dismissed the importance of charity as a significant part of Christian life. Let's go live to Friar Martin Luther for his side on this story and find out why he initially started to call for reform. Friar? Thanks for having me on, Luke. I'm standing in front of the Wittenberg Castle Church, where I originally posted the 95 Theses. As I was studying St. Paul's letters in the New Testament, I began to understand that salvation comes from faith, which is a free gift from God, not from buying indulgences. For those of you who do not fully understand Latin, an indulgence is a signed piece of parchment paper by a church official lessening penance or time spent in purgatory, believed to bring forgiveness of all sins. I'm sure that many viewers do not know that Pope Leo X used indulgences to finance his renovations of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Albert of Mainz is promoting the sale of these indulgences and in return has received a share of the profits, in order to purchase papal dispensation, allowing him to become the bishop of several other territories. Johann Tetzel is the marketing mastermind behind these sales. You may be familiar with one of his slogans. As soon as the coin in the coffer rings, is sold from Purgatory Springs. Tetzel used this catchy slogan to sell indulgences to the poor. The question I ask the viewers is, why does the Pope, who is wealthier than the richest Roman, use money from the poor to build the basilica? Friar Luther, what are you hoping that your 95 Theses will accomplish? Lord Luke, I want to make one thing clear. I am not trying to break away from the Catholic Church, but rather call for a reform. I am troubled that so many people believe that they have no need for repentance once they purchase indulgences. If the leaders of the Catholic Church are not willing to initiate reform, then I am asking the secular leaders, the lay people, and clergy to reform the Church. With the help of the printing press, I hope that my thesis spreads throughout the German lands and reveals the corruption of the Catholic Church, ultimately initiating a reform. Thanks, Martin Luther, for your side of the story. I'm sure we'll be hearing more from him at the Diet of Worms in 1521. This segment of European News has been sponsored by European Wigs, the company which supplies the finest hair to the throne. Now over to Sid.
Thanks, Luke. In sports today, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel versus Pope Julius II finished with a final score of 1508 to 1512 after a double overtime game. Here's a highlight from the game. You know what? I really think Julius went over the top here, and he should be fined for his actions.
All right, starting us off for the E-News Top 10 Plays of the Day, we have Machiavelli writing his new book, The Prince. Can't wait to read it.
Coming up for number 9, we have Leonardo da Vinci drawing an advanced sketch of human anatomy.
Now, on to Madison.
Good morning, Europe. It is time for your weather update. Our radars indicate that we have a strong storm of German troops quickly entering Poland from the east. This storm is only going to last about 4 weeks before ultimately crushing Poland. Meanwhile, the French and the British are quickly sheltering their borders on the west to take cover for the incoming squall that is going to be hitting them next. It wasn't long before Hurricane Hitler completely overtook France. Now, within Germany, the hurricane is wiping out all citizens that are not of the master race. Now, over in Russia, the precipitation has gotten heavier going from Lenin to Stalin. It seems as though the Stalin storm is in for a 5-year plan. This could drastically change the landscape of Russia into a communist state. Sadly for Russia, the precipitation that has gotten heavier will lead to the purging of thousands of citizens. Windstorms are quickly conquering Italy, which could lead to a full-on tornado. This is the first time Italy has ever seen a storm of fascism. This tornado, which officials are now calling Tornado Mussolini, are blustering and bullying its way into Italy, preying on the fear and unrest of the citizens. Tornado Mussolini and the Twister of the Black Shirts are becoming increasingly more violent, seeking to ultimately destroy the Socialist Party. As the 3 main storms heat up, Stalin and Hurricane Hitler are going to collide, and only the stronger of the 2 storms will survive this battle. The downfall of the hurricane came at the Battle of Stalingrad, when the monsoon of Soviets surrounded and systematically destroyed the entire German 6th Army of 300,000 men. Only 123,000 were left to surrender. Hurricane Hitler, who had refused to surrender and retreat, suffered a catastrophic defeat. The fresh air of American and British forces under General Eisenhower landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, in history's greatest naval invasion. In 100 dramatic days, more than 2 million men and almost 500,000 vehicles pushed inland and broke through the German lines. In the end, the cyclone of Allied forces blew through Hurricane Hitler, finally ending the treacherous weather that had dominated over Europe for many years.
That's all for today's segment of E-News.
Thanks for tuning in, peasants.
Have a great day, Europe. Tune in again tomorrow for another segment of E-News.